Baby dolls, I'm wearing a helicopter hat. We're gonna go through this UFO video. I just wanna share with you different cultures out there and the stuff that they've drawn and talked about and stories they've shared. You gotta be a bit naive to think it's all just a mystical fluke. Check these drawings out. Let's start with these. These are drawings just from, you know, all the cavemen, all the ancient religions, people out here. Look what they've drawn like thousands and thousands of years ago. I mean, the bottom left, I mean, you can't get any more UFO looking than that. I mean, like, hello, and there's like dots out here, the orbs. It's crazy. Now, even this one, friends, down here, this is literally what they look like. It's the bug dudes. It's literally, they got these big heads. All right. This is, friends, this one is gold. This is actually Mr. Burns. You remember this from The Simpsons? Hello, children. I bring you love. Oh, man, it looks exactly like him. Have a look at it. Have a look at it. I bring you love. It's literally Mr. Burns. The Simpsons. They did it. Oh, man, that's gold. You also, I mean, like, can you even get more UFO looking than this? It's literally like they're looking over this spaceship here. This, okay, could be some ghouls. Come on, man. Giant blue eyes, black eyes, all of these, friends. Look at this. He's got the giant head. Crazy. See, they're carrying some tool things here. Different cultures or different continents. Cave drawings. Yeah, you're probably wondering, like, oh, well, could be anything. Could be anything. Also, shout out to Mr. Durkee Turkey. Dick butt. Thousands of years old. Shout out to everybody out there. So, look, there's a lot of things going on here, friends. And it gets even deeper. You see, the Australian Aboriginal culture, they also talk about non-human intelligence, so aliens. So aliens, friends, we got it from the movie, but it's really non-human intelligence. It's, I guess, not human. They might be humanoid, just advanced. They could be us. There's a lot of theories. Guess we're not ready to know yet, right? But look at how they draw them, all right? This is how the Aboriginal culture, they draw them, all right? See that? See, very similar. See, this one's got feathers stuck up the head. This one's got like the orb. It's got the bulb, like a glass bulb. There's been UFO reports, by the way, of like that. They have like these, like, you know, like glass things. So we don't know, are they projecting an image not to scare people? That's also one thing. When people get abducted, sometimes there'll be like a human looking guy and they're like, that's weird. He's human, but I don't think he's fully human. They can't put their finger on it, but it could be a projection. Could be like the guy or the girl, whatever, alien dude, Mr. and Mrs. Alien dude. They don't want to scare humans. So they're like, hey, let's shapeshift more and just display to the humans something else. There was also an abduction of some guy, actually famous story. He wrote a book about it and he had all the sketches. He got abducted, but he went into a ship and it was all lizard people. And the lizard people were like really tall and overbearing. And he could sit around, but here's the crazy part, right? So he could see all the lizard people standing around. They were like really, really tall. But one of the lizard people basically was looking at him, but it just had a human head that kind of like had this hologram that just speaking to him to kind of like, hey, I'm talking to you. I'm actually like, I'm a human here. It's kind of fascinating that they're standing there. It's like, I guess it was scary to him now that he thinks about it, but maybe they're always manipulating the mind and stuff. So, you know, if it's like giving somebody drugs, like, hey, you can't really feel fear if you're like really drunk. It's the same thing. So Aboriginal culture, they've been enjoying this. By the way, what are these? This looks like an owl, friends. Now, do you know that? Also fascinating. During many abduction stories, there are always owls. Hoot, hoot, hoot. Let's spin the helicopter hat for the owls. Hoot. Yeah, there's always owls going on there. There was actually one case as well. I remember Richard Dolan talking about it, one of the stories he was reciting, where someone got abducted, actually a few times. They got abducted, and when they're leaving the ship, they would ask like, hey, Mr. Alien dude, can we like take something? Can I like shame our people? They're always like, no, you can't. But in the final goodbye messages, they'll say, you will now remember us as an owl. Almost like this hypnosis thing. So it's fascinating, right? Whenever there's UFO ships, there's always owls going on. We don't know what it is. It could be they morph into them themselves because owls are night creatures, right? So if they're always appearing at night when we can't see, it makes sense that if you're going to appear as anything, you're like, hey, let's turn ourselves into an owl. Like, let's chameleon like an owl so people don't know what we are. There's also more of these like alien looking ones. Look at the art, man. The art's like really cool. Okay, now They're named the Wandjina. Okay, Wandjina. I guess it's called Wandjina, not to be confused with, it's a family-friendly show. Not going to say it. And they're believed to be spiritual beings. They are spiritual beings. This is the crazy part, okay? This is the Aboriginal culture, right? They were told that they've descended from the Milky Way during the dream time. And they say they created Earth and the inhabitants. And there's even depictions back to 4,000 years ago. It's 2,000 years before Jesus' time, friends. Just to tell you, that's how old it is. It probably goes back before that. It's just the ones that we can recall. Now, there's a guy here called Mabel King, an Australian Aboriginal elder, calls the Wandjina. He calls him the big boss. Big boss, okay? That's what they referenced basically in the stories. They call it the big boss. And it refers to their supreme authority and powers of all people on the land here. And if you're familiar with the Mayans or any other spiritual story, friends, American Indians, this is so common. It's like every continent around the world has a story like this where they come out of the sky and they tell everybody, hey, man, we made you. This is Earth. Have fun. Cheers. Tongue-in-cheek, friends. There's also a lot of things that they usually end up doing. They end up teaching agriculture. American Indians, they have a story. Maybe we'll get to it once. This is the craziest part. All these cultures around the world. So when I was really, really young, okay, when we were in school, I was wondering, who was the first person to, make corn? How did they know? Who was the first person? Did someone, what's going on? I just thought, I'm just a silly-witty person and stuff. I have no idea. Just a young kid. Well, it turns out with a lot of these cultures around the globe, they all have an origin story, and it's very similar stuff. They say somebody appears out of nowhere. Like in the American Indians, I think it was like a lady on a white horse, or just like a white lady just appears in the field, just out of nowhere. And they went and approached her, and she hangs out with them for a while, and she teaches them how to get more yield out of your corn, and how to make yield out of the land, make vegetables and stuff. So there is a lot of these common things around there. Now, you don't know, hey, did every culture out there just think about this? Oh, let's just say somebody appeared, and and the stories they go on, and they end up disappearing. So they come and they teach humans, hey, this is how you make this, and they go. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. So what do you make of it? Well, I've got more for you. And it gets a bit strange, right? So there's a South African tribe, friend, called the Zulu Faith. Now, the Zulu Faith, so you have the masks here. This reminds me a bit of Crash Bandicoot. Shout out to all the Crash Bandicoot PlayStation 1 fans out here. So, ancient aliens of Africa. See this? Looks like a reptilian dude, kinda. He's got the Indian jewel on his head. It's kind of funny. Now, this is one of the dudes. He's got these alien dudes, okay? This is from a while ago. Now, the Zulu Faith. Now, the Zulu Faith, they have the stories, and they're called the Amalubi. The Amalubi translates to the grey people or the star people. So the Zulu people believe ancestors came from a planet called Alpha Centauri, and the beings are described as advanced, enlightened, and they traveled to Earth in spherical spaceships. Firstly, you just stop it there. You're telling me that's a fluke. Oh, well, just this wild guy's imagination thought of these stars called Alpha Centauri before electricity was invented on Earth. Before we had the wooden cars, before the iPhone, a long time ago, right? We're talking about thousands of years, friends, a long, long time ago. They're like, well, let's just imagine Alpha Centauri, this Milky Way thing out there in the sky, and yes, that they all traveled in spherical spaceships. Now, one of the elders that I showed here, his name is Credo. So, Credo Mutwa. Right, Credo. So, Credo said this. Look at this. Read this together. Our ancestors described these visitors as tall beings with elongated heads that shone like stars. Their appearance was both awe-inspiring and comforting. Whoa. Interesting, right? Awe-inspiring and comforting. Elongated heads. He also says this. These star beings brought with them great knowledge, and they taught our people many skills. They showed us how to cultivate the land, work with metals, and understand the spiritual realms. So remember, Aboriginal culture, now African culture. You see, friends, American Indians, I've told you about the white horse. You're like, wait, that's interesting. You're all being visited by someone else in your story, and they come and teach you stuff. Right? You want to know something, friends? A lot of people, when you hear this, they go, oh, it could be any story. Okay, man. Look how egocentric humans are. If you were starting like a tribe, culture, religion thing, most of the time, someone who started something like that, probably because of their ego and their greed, and just they want to be like, very, very seen highly and greatly, they would probably incorporate the story where they are the ones who taught everybody how to do everything, right? Where they would be the focus of attention. Hey, I conquered the lands, and then I came here, man, and I'm the one who did all this. We don't have any of those stories with these tribes. Not one. It's always, they came out of the sky, they taught us some stuff, did some backflips, they look like this, so they look like that, and then pop, see us. Crazy. Is it crazy? Remember, we know, friends, human greed, all these like type of Shakespearean, like, all this type of ego, pride. They're not in these stories. How come they're not in these stories? They just share them. He's also got videos out here, friends. Check it out.
You say the Star people landed in Africa.
Yes, sir.
They started the mines and got the...
They enslaved the black people
yeah.
whom they found there.
And it seems that that place on the border of Botswana, the Toledo Hills.
Todilo.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
That was the place where humanity as we know it was seeded?
Yes, sir. Humanity landed there, directed by the great giant Todilo, the place of emerging of living animals.
And from there,
yes,
the knowledge and the myths and the beliefs and the language went north and eventually to Sumer in Egypt and became the base of those civilizations.
Yes, sir. Sir.
So interesting what he says. These are pre-Egypt times. So they're like these ancient stuff, and then it travels north up through Africa and ends up in Egypt. Fascinating, right? It's fascinating. You got to think twice about this type of stuff, because you're like thinking, well, he's a Zulu Faith people. Shout out to everyone there. This is the fun, friends. This is funny. So you see this stuff, and you're like, I don't know how this fits in. I want to share it with you. He goes, look at this. I used to watch these years ago. Dude spoke of his abduction by aliens, ended up becoming gay after the experience. Interesting. I know, friends. I know it's always seesawing. It's like, wow, journey of discovery and information. Like, huh? UFO industry, friends. You've never seen a bear market like this in your life. You think crypto's bad? Wait till you see UFO dudes, man. They've been literally out in the corner for so long. I've always been taking them seriously. We're the new blood. We see these now. A lot of these things, friends. You got to remember, when people ask me, sometimes they go, man, sometimes there's holes in the stories and things don't add up. I go, yeah, I know that. But let me tell you this. Out of 100 stories, maybe 90% of them are just fake. That leaves between 1 and 10 stories that are real. And that itself is world-shattering, world-changing, world-evolving, explosive. Any one of these stories, friends, any one of these stories, there is truth out here. There is truth somewhere. How much of it, though? How much are we allowed to know? Never figure it out. Remember, friends, showed you that Donald Trump Deep State Guide video, told you, quick summary. After everything I learned, I'm like, man, why don't they let us learn about it? And then you figure it out. Okay, I actually see a point. I see their point. And the point is, they go, well, now we have nukes and we can blow each other up. And we have too much testosterone, too much barbarism, too much fighting, Too much of that. Too many of these human fallacies. Too much emotion in humans. And yeah, unfortunately, I guess for us, deep state, non-human intelligence, whatever it is going on, whatever the force is, it's subduing humans over time. We are becoming more neutered. Okay, we're becoming more offensive. Oh, I can't explain. See this political woke shit? It's kind of like, hey, don't worry about your genitals. You aren't a thing anymore. You're like this other thing. Is it surprise, friends, in California that Gavin Newsom guy, they want to introduce these laws to separate the kids from the parents? Okay, is it a surprise? They step too far sometimes for society. But why is that a surprise? It's not a surprise because, like, okay, well, if you want to subdue all the humans, who is keeping the kids switched on? The parents, okay? If the parents, that's why in their law, they want to ban, that's why Elon Musk friends pretty much lost his plot at it. He's like, they want to ban parents having an influence on their kids with certain ideas. In 10, 20, 30 years, if you snowball that, the government, the state, can put in whatever information they want in the kid's head. Because the parent will like go to jail if they say, you know, something like, okay, you say left, they say right. Okay, you're this gender or that gender. It's not about the transgender stuff. It goes beyond that. That's how it starts. It's just that they're so motivated. People who are in that community and stuff, they're very loud and so motivated to like act change and stuff. It makes sense that they were like, hey, let's just throw this in there. It could have been anything. It's like, it could be sports teams. It could be like whatever it is. It's some sort of group. They add that in and then slowly they'll like, you know, incrementally push stuff on. So when you have that perspective, friends, and you like remove yourself, you go, oh man, I'm only alive for the next, you know, between 10 and 90 years for most people. Okay, have 100,000 year view. Roll this forward out. What happens over time? Okay, human testosterone levels keep dropping down. Mouths get smaller. Eyes get bigger. Brains get bigger. Our muscle friends, we become like the grey alien dudes. Our muscles, we're not using our muscles anymore because everything's becoming more with the brain. You're using the brain. You're becoming more efficient like that. And the nukes, yeah, man, we have to like evolve. How do we do that? Now, of course, friends, a lot of these things, the concepts, it's controversial because, man, you and I, we have to have a bias. Our bias as humans is always like, man, like, look, if you want me, Mr. Alien Dude, to give a shit about, you know, world peace and stuff and all the other things you want, you shouldn't have made me live only like 80 years. You shouldn't have. Okay, so personally, I don't care. That's my attitude. Here's the thing, 70% of people are sheep, and on average, humans don't really think like that. But it's true, that's a rational way to think about it. It's like, well, you know what I mean? If you maybe live for like 400,000 years, all right, sweet, maybe I'll think about it. But you don't. So there is this seesaw of opinions. Now, after hearing all these, friends, it's controversial. We'll play some nice, you know, we'll smooth it over with some gentle angel music. There's always got to be some gentle angel music being smoothed over. Now, I'm going to show you the Dogon Tribe. Okay, so you heard American Indians, you heard the Zulu Faith, Aboriginals. Check these out. Okay, so I'm gonna give you the most bombshell news up front. Okay, so look at the this is the Dogon Tribe. Shout out to all my Dogons out there, my Dogon brothers and sisters. All right. Now, okay, look. By the way, yes, it does look like it has a giant nutsack of a chin. So sweet, sir. My nutsack doesn't grow from there, but congratulations to you. Look at this. Okay, they do not have written language, but they still pass on this knowledge. They knew before the rest of the world about the Sirius star system 8.5 light years away. Okay, so when everyone in the world thought, oh, the Earth is the center of the universe. Nope. They knew, no, there's a thing 8.5 light years away, Sirius star system. Before electricity, before everything, friends. They also knew of extra stars that can't be seen visually. And they have even knowledge of this represented in 400-year-old artifacts. They understood subatomic particles and their theory of the universe creation. It's actually similar to the Big Bang. All right. They even knew where we are in the Milky Way. They said these alien visitors, they call them the Nommos. Okay, Nommos, Nommos. And the ones that visited them, they said they were mostly aquatic, right? The water aliens. But they were also mobile on land. Now, there were some abduction stories, friends, people being abducted, but one guy got abducted, I remember in the story, they got abducted, but they were underneath ground. And they were in a bubble. Yeah, actually, I've got to fix that. It's not, we don't know where they were, but they were in a fish tank of sorts. It could have been underground. It could have been in their ship, actually. We just don't know. But they're in some sort of bubble. And when they were talking to the alien dudes, they all had fins. And for some reason, the human, we could breathe underwater. Okay, so we don't know why. Don't know how it was happening. Don't know if it was an image. But it's just fascinating. I still remember this one because that wasn't the normal stock standard ship. It was like it's a ship. Everyone's got water. And like everybody's basically floating. And whoever got abducted, they're talking to them. So I remember that one. I was like, wow, that's unique. The water dudes. Okay. Now, back to the Dogon Tribe, right? So remember, these ones were aquatic aliens, yeah. They would, this is the crazy part, okay? I mean, it's all crazy. They would only appear to a small sect of the Dogon Tribe. Wow. Look at them, friends. I mean, like, I'm just going to show you again. The Dogon Tribe, friends, okay? They would only appear to a small sect of them. Now, you're probably wondering, like, what's the significance of that? Well, it's because extensive contact with humans would have a negative impact on their well-being. This is a trip out because that's exactly the stories we hear today from people who get abducted and somehow get to mention the aliens. Hey, why don't you come visit us more? Why don't you go do this? Why don't you go do that? The answers are always, now do more harm than good. Well, harm is, you're not ready. Shouldn't be here and stuff. Yeah, will be harmful to you. There's radiation, friends. There's a lot of people got reports. There's a lot of radiation. There's a lot of physical evidence. People have radiation on their skin, like one side of their skin will, for example, like basically have skin burns. There's plantations that grow faster because of all that extra UV light, what the hell is happening with the ship. There's people, yeah, it's a lot of these things. People will get sick. They'll be on the shop. They'll be on the there's a few cases where someone will have their watch, and when they come back, the watch is completely like out of whack. Their magnetic wave and stuff has just been screwed up, the whole person, and they'll be sick for like a week. They'll be like really sick, vomiting, and just like ill. Almost like you got some radiation poison because you're on the ship and stuff. What was happening? You exposed too much there. Okay, so that's one of the negative impacts. It could also be social impact. So there's a lot of things, right? Now, also, in some accounts, the Dogon even say the Nommos is non-physical, right? But what does that mean? Could be a myriad of things, right? Holographic, whatever it is, okay? Look at this. With a population of 300,000, the Dogon are an ethnic group of people located in Mali, West Africa, okay? They are believed by some anthropologists and historians to be of Egyptian descent, okay? So dating back thousands of years, this knowledge, which has been largely preserved through oral traditions, was only discovered by modern astronomers in the 19th and 20th centuries. Okay, so these things really do go deep. I mean, check this out too at the bottom, friends. I mean, this is crazy, okay? The Dogon priests maintained that Sirius has a companion star that is invisible to the human eye. They also explained that the star moves in a 50-year elliptical orbit around Sirius, that it is small and incredibly heavy, and that it rotates on its axis. I mean, bro, you know what I mean? Like, we had, really? How the hell did you know that? Okay, so probably someone just threw out some knowledge. Hey, do you know this is cool? Friends, it would be like, I know it's kind of funny. It'd be like, let's say someone's in the medical industry. They don't know anything about crypto. And they come in and then like you just tell them, you know, if you want to know where crypto is going right now, you look at the ETH BTC ratio. Did you know that if ETH BTC is going up, if Ethereum is outperforming Bitcoin, it's risk on sentiment? And if Ethereum's going down, you know, we might be in the bearish poopy times. Anyway, I'm checking out. See, imagine you just left a medical industry person like that. They're like, whoa, I got handed down this intergenerational knowledge, right? I feel like it's something like this. Like they just throw it out there, right? More information, right? In the 1920s, it was indeed confirmed Sirius B exists as the companion of Sirius A. Smaller than planet Earth, it is a white, dense dwarf star that burns dimly. The Dogon name for Sirius B is Potolo, which means the smallest seed and star. right? Seed in this context refers to creation, perhaps human creation. Okay, so that's pretty much, you know, a lot of, I've noticed, different abduction stories out here. So I've noticed, yeah, the tendency for us humans is always like, where do we come from? Where did you come from? It's always that. It's always that. There's a very, very common question. Because you got to ask alien dudes that are going to whisk you away if they don't wipe your memory. That's another difficult part with these, because memory wipes are so common. They wipe memories, friends. They wipe memories. And, you know, as you get to know, friends, you ever been blind drunk? You're like, man, how the hell did I make it all the way there? Is there any evidence that's me? And like, yeah, they show you photos. Like, oh my gosh, I don't remember anything. Yes, blind drunk, friends. Also, the anti-anxiety pill Xanax, if you take that, your brain stops storing memories for 4 hours. So just telling you, we have drugs where you stop storing memories. I guess roll the technology forward 1,000 to 2,000 years. Maybe you have technology that can like delete the past 24 hours of memories. There you go. So it is within the realm of possibility. Now, friends, there's always this skeptical stuff with these where people like dig so deep, and because there's always like an element of like we want to believe and then what's actually going on. But I just want to show you this. The skeptic Carl Sagan actually gets put in his place here. Look at this with his Dogon Tribe. Here you go. Carl Sagan weighed in on his take of the Dogon Tribe and their supposed celestial cogniscience by disavowing the idea that it could have come from otherworldly beings. The Dogon were aware of Jupiter's moons and Saturn's along with its rings, but Sagan said that their lack of awareness of any other planets in our solar system was evidence that they were only reiterating a few pieces of knowledge given to them by their interaction with French anthropologists. However, Sagan's cursory analysis of the Dogon did not touch upon the fact that their knowledge of the Sirius star system was represented in 400-year-old artifacts, nor did he acknowledge their understanding of subatomic particles and their theory of the universe's creation was similar to the Big Bang. So, no answers for those, right? You got to remember as well, friends, it's outside of our realm of science. Like, remember, if it turns out that humans, our consciousness is connected through some way that you and I can't measure yet, but one day we'll be able to, and the way you and I actually like get ideas into our head, if there's like a stream, like this ocean of stuff, and we just like thoughts are like channeled into our head, it's kind of pretty much we figure out that kind of like is how it works. Well, it then asks, you got to ask the question, okay, this stream of information that all humans we're getting, you know, basically our satellite information from, who controls what information is there? It's a serious question, right? Because a lot of inventions and stuff that scientists have had, it's come to them. It's literally come to them. You always hear that, right? Oh, it came to me, Eureka. I found it. Someone's like, oh my God, I found it. Like, they're searching, and then it pops in their head. Well, who controls that information stream? Where is that information stream? Is it another dimension? We got no idea. Can they put bad thoughts? Can it be like compromised? People who are schizophrenic, murder, psychopaths, you know, are they downloading wrong parts? Is their satellite screwed up? There's a lot of these things that, you know, we just don't have the answers for now. But it kind of like, it does humble you a bit about how a lot of these things work, where it's kind of like, you'd be humbled. Like if you ever do something great, yeah, it's a round of applause for an achievement, but also makes you think, hey, guess I was just one of the lucky ones. That's it. This could happen to anyone. You know, if you look at any of the, you know, even Isaac Newton friends, Einstein, whenever they do the great discovery, people found out that someone else around the world was like right there. They were right close to do it as well. Very close. All had the formulas at the same time. So it's just, when you think about the whole population though, think about like, you know, 1 billion people. They didn't have 1 billion people on Earth there, but you just think about like, oh, just 1 or 2 people like given this gift to learn it. Now, here is the actual from Dogon Tribe. This is Alpha Sirius. Okay, they know this star system. They have it drawn here. I mean, that's crazy, man. 400 years, man. 400 years. That's wild, okay? They have this knowledge of this stuff. I mean, look at this. The Dogon representative of Sirius, as reported by these dudes, the egg contains, okay, they're called the primordial egg. Sirius, Potolo, MER, all these ones. The Nommo, D, the Nommo. Okay, the D, that's their, I guess, where they are. It contains them as well. It's just wild. Actually, we have these. The Star of Women, a satellite of MER, the sign of women. Women's reproductive organs represented by uterus. Yes, this is crazy, right? Sirius A is a bright star which can be seen in the western sky through the naked eye, but not Sirius B, its invisible companion. The Dogon people knew that Sirius B was very small, but very dense or heavy. Yet its existence was only proven in 1970 when it was first photographed for the first time by Western astronomers. The Dogon tribe knew about the existence of this invisible star for thousands of years. They also knew that Saturn has 4 moons and has rings or halos around it, although these cannot be seen without powerful telescopes. See these, friends? Like, you're just looking at these. So, Matthew Stewart, maybe take some time off the drugs and drug kind. Yeah, man, I mean, like, that's funny. Probably didn't expect this video coming out. So, yeah, man, I don't know. Maybe people have been on some mad drugs for 4,000 years across every continent. And when they're all on drugs, they think of the same stories with same elements and stuff. Yeah, it could be that. Or, Matt, you could be on your 8th vax, your 8th jab, and also get ready to be brainwashed by the next round of programming coming on the TV box. That's also possible, Mr. Stewart. So, of course, friends, you see these stories, it just makes you think. It just makes you think about, you know, what do they say? What do people say when they come across this? Do these historians and all these people researching it, they just say, oh, well, can't explain it. It's something else. Yeah, man, they got a point. But it really does, friends. Your mind, it gets opened by stuff like this. Yeah, maybe something else is going on. Does the government know? Of course they know stuff. They know stuff. How far does it go, though? What else do they know? What are they working on? All these ancient stuff, tech stuff, friends, are all cool, but the important ones, the nukes. The nukes, the anti-gravity UFO tech, they're the like national security type of things. That's where everything is pretty much headed towards. But you see all that, and then you see ancient tribes, like, interesting, you didn't have our brainwashing. How come you guys all believe stuff and now we don't? You know, it's a bit evident. Is it evidence-based stuff? I don't know, friends. It does make you think. Also, I want to end with this comment as well from Aaron Fab. Bro, you're too woke to believe in ETs being out there in the vacuum. Extra-terrestrials literally means more land beyond the Antarctica wall and underground. That's what's all happening. So yeah, man, just to let you know, yeah, it is that. It's just what's the confirmed word? They're always changing the word. So if you notice, friends, they're not doing UFOs as the word anymore. They're doing NHI. Like, oh, you know, the people are getting too riled up with this UFO stuff. Let's use NHI. Can't use aliens. NHI, non-human intelligence. So that's what's been a lot of reports, friends, that they don't actually come from out there. We're not even allowed to know yet. Or we'll know one day. Maybe when we're ready. Who's going to decide that? We don't know. Make sure you like, subscribe, and belly button, friends. Catch you in the next one.